Hey guys, hope you've all had a wonderful winter break. You're all rested and rejuvenated and ready to tackle tomorrow. As you all know, unfortunately, we are not going to be returning face to face tomorrow. We are going to be online for the next 3 weeks. So 2 out of those 3 weeks, you're with me. So I just wanted to pop on here quickly to show you guys a video we're going to look at D2L, look at Teams, because Teams is the application that we are going to be using every day to host our daily meetings, which are actually going to be our lessons for the day. And that's also how your teachers are going to be tracking your daily attendance. So you have to be active in those meetings every day in order to be marked present for that day. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here. Hope my dog doesn't bark during this. And also, there's a little bubble down in the bottom left corner of my screen with my face in it. So if I keep looking down that way, I'm sorry. It's just very distracting, and I'm going to try my best not to do that. Okay, so you should all be familiar with our D2L page already, considering we've been using it since day one, and you should have already been on here multiple times. The only thing is there's a couple changes. So usually our announcements are over here. I've found it a lot easier to post every day what's expected of you, what the work is, the daily schedule basically in announcements, because I can do them in advance and then schedule them to, upload every day, say at 8 a.m. That way I don't have to be on here and typing, first thing in the morning. And I just found it a lot easier. So I changed it. So our announcements are over here. So hopefully you've already seen this and have read it, but this announcement is the fact that we've gone virtual. So it just goes on to tell you that, and I can't stress it enough, this time that we're online is going to be extremely different from when you guys went online in the spring. So in the springtime, you guys had very little expectations, basically. And it was all asynchronous, meaning that you just had to go on D2L, see what your work was for the day, and do it independently. It is going to be an independent, structure this time, but it is synchronous, meaning that it has to be live teaching virtually. So like I said, we're using Teams for that. So the way I've kind of structured our day is that we're going to have 2 daily Teams meetings. So to go over lessons for the day. So that'll be me basically going over, I'll share my screen with you guys on there. We will go over a couple notes for the day on content. I'll let you know what is expected of you to do when we're done that daily meeting. And then we will reconvene again for our second daily meeting to go over another lesson, and then continue with expectations for your independent work. So, excuse me. Between those, around those hours of our daily meetings, I'm going to host what's called office hours. So they're kind of like virtual office hours. So our daily meetings are going to be every day from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That'll be our first one. And then the second one will be from 12:20 to 1:15. So I know this seems like strange timing, but we are factoring in your lunch. Okay, so we're going to structure the day like normal. So your lunch will still be from 11:35 to 12:15. And so we'll hop back on for our second meeting at 12:20. So between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., so the hour before that first meeting, you guys are going to be expected to, very similarly to class, work on your outstanding assignments. So right now, you guys, I know you have your moral dilemma handouts that you guys got before the break, as well as you're working on your Christ-like love assignment still, as well as I will give it to you tomorrow, but your Unit 2 test review. So we are still going to have our test. It's just going to be online this week. So we're going to have it on Thursday. Well, it's going to unlock on Thursday, and it will be available until Friday, basically. Okay. So between those hours of our daily meetings, will be my office hours. So between 9 and 10, you're going to be working on your independent work, but I will also be active on Teams. So if anybody requires like a one-on-one Teams meeting with me, if you have any questions about anything, or you can email me or go on Teams, but you can email me those questions during that time as well, and I'll be available to answer them. So then I'll have office hours also between 11 a.m. So right after our first daily lesson to 11:35 until your lunch. And I'll be able to answer any questions that maybe you have had about the lesson, or any questions you have about what's expected of you for after the lesson. And then I'll also have the last office hours from 1:15 to 1:45. So 1:45 would be technically like block D in our regular schedule. And so I'm switching, so that will be like my off period. It'll be my prep period during that time. So between 1:45 to 2:55, but I will still be available for you to answer questions after that time if you so need them, because you guys are expected to be working like a normal school day. Okay. So as you know, this is going to be a learning experience for everyone. So just try to take it day by day. Be kind to one another. Do not be afraid to ask me questions, and I will try my best to help you along the way. But what I'm going to do here, so as you can see that this is our first announcement that I've posted. So you'll see on Monday morning, the next announcement will come on, and it'll be the daily schedule for that day. I'll date it so that way you know which one it is. That way you can always go back and look at them. And so I'll have the links, direct hyperlinks to all the work, as well as our Teams meeting. So your work will also be able to be found under the content section if you, for whatever reason, can't access it from the homepage, but you should be fine. I don't think I've really had anybody have issues in the past. If you scroll down the same way that I've been doing this in the past, these are all hyperlinked that you can access. So it'll be very, very similar. The only difference being our daily team meeting links. So if you already have the Teams app, that's awesome. So you can access it from there. Check your school email, because when I created our meetings, so I created 2 meetings a day indefinitely, every day from Monday to Friday. So it will have emailed you an invitation basically to these meetings. So you can RSVP through your email to say you will attend them. But for whatever reason you can't get to that, when you come here, this will be for obviously meeting 1, and this will be the link for meeting 2. So if you can click on this, it will ask you here, do you want to open in Microsoft Teams? So that's because I already have the app. But if you don't have the app, you can choose to either download the app, you can continue on the browser, so just using the web version of Teams. It just doesn't allow you, I don't know which functions it doesn't allow you to use, but there's some that it doesn't allow you to use. Or if you already have it, you can just go straight to it. So you can click open in Microsoft Teams, because I already have the app. So it'll open up for me automatically. Okay. So it opens up here. Give it a second to load. Okay, so you can see, this is what yours will look like. So you can see your camera should be turned off or on if you want. It's up to you, totally up to you if you want your camera on or not. But I want your mic off. So make sure you mute your audio. So you click that you don't use your audio. Okay, and then you can click join now. So I'm not going to click join now just because I don't want to start this meeting and then notify you all of a premature meeting. So I'm going to get into that. But we do have a test meeting here that I'm going to try. So I'm going to click on this. If it will let me. Oh, maybe it won't let me. Hang on. I'm going to edit the timing here so it can be currently. Okay, so this is a meeting now. Oh, all right. Sorry, guys. For some reason, it's not going to work. But I wanted to try and do a test meeting. So usually when you click on it, it will have a join button for you. So if you scroll down if you're on Teams, when you open up Teams, it'll likely automatically go to your activity page. But if you go on the side here and you choose your calendar, that is where you're going to see all of our meetings. Okay, so I have a meeting with my staff members in the morning. Then here's our 10 a.m. daily meeting. So you can see here that I have since canceled our second meeting for the day tomorrow. And that's because we've been informed that tomorrow is kind of a slow start to transitioning to our virtual learning. So because of that, we're only going to go over our first daily meeting. I'm going to see how many people, how many students are able to access it, to log in, answer any questions that you guys have, go over some basic stuff when it comes to Teams, get everybody figured out and familiar with the app. And then we're going to kind of go from there. And then I'm going to give you guys some readings to do. Because I have a feeling, obviously, that we're not going to have everybody in full attendance at 10 a.m. For our first meeting tomorrow morning. So that being said, I want to make sure that we can get, iron out all the wrinkles before we worry about diving into our lessons. The only thing is that when we do have our meetings, you'll see once you log into them that I'm going to record them. So when you record your meetings, it will record it. It will create a video of that daily meeting, of that lesson. And then once it takes a little bit for it to email, for Teams to put together the video and then email it to me. But once that happens, I will post it on D2L. So I'll probably have a section under content for Teams. And then I'll just date them. So that way you can have daily lesson 1 on from January 4th. And that way, if for whatever reason you missed it, or maybe you had some technical difficulties or something happened, then you can still go on and you can watch it after. So now, I don't anticipate us every time, I've scheduled our meetings for an hour, twice daily. I don't anticipate us every single time using the full hour. Maybe some days we won't at all. Maybe some days we'll use more. It's totally kind of trial and error at this point. That being said, when we are in Teams, I will show you guys tomorrow when I share my screen and stuff with you on our first Teams meeting. But I don't want you guys to have your mics on because it will just be an overwhelming amount of audio happening. Like I said, it's totally up to you if you have your camera on or not. I will have mine on so you can see my face without a mask for once. But yes, I don't want your audio on though. So if you do have questions during our daily lesson, you absolutely can answer them. There is a chat section. There's a chat section on every Teams meeting will have one. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you guys during our meeting tomorrow, or our first daily lesson tomorrow, where that chat section is. And that's where you guys can type your questions. So if you have questions in there, then I will be able to see them as we're going through our lesson. And I can answer your questions that way. I just find that will be a bit easier, especially when we're in the middle of our lesson. And that way also, maybe we can try our best to do a little bit of discussion. Maybe for the people who don't really love talking in class face-to-face, this might be your time to shine. If I ask you guys a discussion question during our lesson, like I would normally if we were face-to-face when we're going over a note, that's where I can have you guys in the chat section posting your responses. Or if you have a question and you really want to say it with your voice, then you can write in the chat that you have something that you want to add to and contribute. And that way I can make sure I can say, okay, for example, say Chloe has something that she wants to say. She might write in the chat, I have something I want to add to that, but it's too much to type thing. So then I would say, okay, Chloe, turn your mic on and let's hear what you have to say. And that way we don't have a million people turning their mics on at one time. We can just kind of isolate it one at a time. And that way, if there might be some feedback from the computers. So if I know, okay, so for example, Devin wants to say something, then I can pause, or mute my mic and then allow Devin to come on with his mic on and then talk. And then when he's finished, turn that off and then I can turn my mic back on. I hope this makes sense. I know it's a lot to go over, but bear with me. Like I said, it's a learning experience for all of us. We're going to try our best and take it day by day. I'll be here for you guys every step of the way. I'm also going to post on here So I think I'll probably post the edit and post it right in here. But there is a really cool document that was created by our school board to show you, and you can show it to your families, like your parents or your guardians, how to navigate D2L or Brightspace for virtual school, but as well as how to get onto Teams. So the last 2 pages of the document are about Teams. So if after this video you're still really struggling, you're unsure what to do when it comes to getting Teams and getting Teams on your computer and getting it set up, definitely take a look at this document. Scroll to the last 2 pages and it should hopefully answer your questions. Like I said, you should be on by 9 a.m. to try and get this sorted out and figured out and ready to have your, join that Teams meeting for 10 a.m. I will be around between obviously the times of 9 to 10 before our meeting to answer any questions that you might have if you're having a hard time or if you're having difficulties getting on, and I'll try my best to help you. But yeah, I think that's about it. I can't wait to try this out tomorrow morning. Like I said, we're gonna have a pretty lax day tomorrow, just because we're going to just be testing everything out and getting everything organized. But by Tuesday, we should all be pros at it. We should all be, ready to log in and join our daily meeting and participate on Tuesday at 10 a.m. So I hope you guys are able to understand all of this. Like I said, I know it's a lot of information. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you guys virtually tomorrow morning.